test. Call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councilman Culp.
Here.
Councilman Cooper.
Here.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Present.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Here.
Councilman McDaniel.
Present.
Councilman Horn.
Present.
Mayor Mulwolf.
Present.
7 present, none absent.
Please stand and join in the Pledge of Allegiance. We begin our meetings with the appearance of citizens. Our policy relative to appearance of citizens is as follows. A 30-minute time period is provided for citizens to appear and express their views before the City Council. Each citizen speaking will be limited to one appearance of up to 3 minutes. No immediate response will be given by City Council or City staff members. Citizens are to give their documents, if any, to the police officer for distribution to the Council. When the Mayor determines that all persons wishing to speak in accordance with this policy have done so, members of the City Council and key staff may make comments. Does anyone wish to appear before Council tonight? If so, please come to the podium. And we will need your name, but I don't need an address.
My name is Daniel Ray Peckrell. I'm a 3-time resident. 3 times I've tried to leave Decatur, and here I am. I'm still here. So feeling at a bit of a crossroads. This is Plan B speech. This is wouldn't help me to talk about that, but it's an irritation that I don't know how to solve. The problem in the future that I'm looking forward to is I'm starting a skating school. We're going to be doing videos in public, and there will be people who are in public who want to remain private. And so I just want to set it out that we welcome people to say they're not comfortable being on our skate films, and that we'll work to delete people that don't want to be seen. You know, the technology is quite there. But there is a big concern about being seen in public and all the public cameras. So I expect that there should be some really good debate about how we as a society deal with becoming more public and having comments about what our public image is. So, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Ray. Does anyone else wish to appear?
John Phillips, Jr. It's been a minute since you guys have seen me. I'm coming today because all of you knew my father. Harder than I thought it'd be. Who passed away in a car accident this weekend at the corner of El Dorado and 24th Street. One, obviously, to let most of you know, but also to request, I know you have some city street projects coming up, and I would like to request that you take another look at that light. When you are westbound on that light and you're turning left onto 24th Street, there is a hill in front of you, and people coming across that hill have maybe 200 feet, if that, to react before they get to the stoplight. Well, that's the average stopping distance in ideal conditions at 35 miles an hour. And people going, of course, turning left have trouble seeing over that hill. So, the police report will do their thing, and the police will do their jobs as they admirably do here in Decatur. And somebody will be found at fault, but the truth is that intersection is just not safe as it is. The other direction does have a turn signal turning into Premium there, but westbound does not. And I would like to request the City Council maybe take a look at that before somebody else loses a parent. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Phillips, and our condolences on your loss. Are there others who wish to speak?
Good evening. My name is Levi Lehman. I am the developer for the project at 136 South Dipper Lane, which is on the agenda for later tonight. So I just wanted to speak a little bit on that and what we've got going on there. So since 2024, it was a former healthcare facility, has been empty. So we saw a great opportunity for some revitalization there for an apartment complex. So we just want to talk about that tonight and get ourselves up front before the resolution comes up. So where we're at on the project is we're going through and getting all the estimates. We've put it all together and delivered it to City Council, and they've put together the resolution for us tonight. So we're asking for your help to move forward with that and to help us with that project. So I'd be happy to answer any questions later on. If you have any more specifics you'd like to know about, I'll be happy to do that. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lehman.
Good evening, Council. I'm Ann Owens. So tonight, a couple of reminders. First of all, this Saturday, 1 o'clock to 2:30 is the Kono Community Safety Panel. So you will have the police chief, the fire chief, the state's attorney, and the sheriff all there to answer questions from the public. We also have a lot of things that we're working on for May for Historic Preservation Week. You'll be hearing a lot more about that very soon. I'm getting a lot of telephone calls from out of town and even some from out of state about the church tours. So that'll be pretty exciting. But I also had planned already to mention the loss of Mr. Phillips. I grew up coming to council meetings, listening to him tell you exactly what he thought. The greatest thing about somebody like John Phillips Sr., he didn't really care if you agreed with him. What he cared about was that you understood that it's your right to stand up and say what you believe in. So I think that's a pretty important thing to remember on a night like tonight. We certainly send prayers to Marcia, to John Jr., and to all of the family. They are a close-knit family, one of the greatest families I've known in this community.
Thank you, Ms. Owens. Does anyone else wish to comment before council tonight? Seeing none, we will move. Oh, does anyone on council have any response to anything? Mr. Cooper?
Yes, just to John Jr., just want to let you know you have our sympathies. And also your father, he was a very great man, and I'm sure you will continue his legacy, and we just want you to know we are praying for you and the family.
Now moving on to approval of the minutes.
Approval of minutes of March 16, 2026 City Council meeting. I need a motion and a second.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Culp.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Mayor Moore Wolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
Any unfinished business tonight?
None.
Moving into new business, item 1, resolution adopting the Economic and Community Development 2026 through 2029 Revitalization Plan.
Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hahn?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We're very pleased to have back before you tonight the 2026 through 2029 Revitalization Plan. As you're aware, we had brought this before Council back in January for review. We then left it open for public comment, review, and discussion and comment to provide back to us. And so after that period, staff went back, did make some changes that Lacey will just briefly discuss. And then we've got it for a vote. And this will be kind of our stopgap measure. So staff have a plan to follow of where the areas of focus will be, how the allocated funds will be spent, and then that will be incorporated in our larger comprehensive plan that they'll be working on. So I'll go ahead and turn it over to Lacey LZ, Economic and Community Development Director.
Good evening, Council, Mayor. The most notable changes that we made in the revitalization plan were we updated some of the language to include review of our ordinances, as well as our policies and procedures over the next 3 years. And then we also decided to take more of a regional approach versus the focus neighborhoods. So we expanded each of the neighborhoods to more than one. So each one is the Oakwood region, the Near East region, and the Jasper Street region. And this was supported by the community survey results that we were able to dig into. And then also some of the feedback that we received was supportive of a more regional approach. As City Manager said, we did have a robust comment period on this. She was able to present it to the Economic Development Board, and I was able to present it to the Decatur Golden K Kiwanis Club. It was also available for other entities to comment on, and it was posted on our social media and website. So with that quick overview, I will take your questions now.
Any questions for Ms. Elsie? Dr. Horn?
These aren't questions, just some comments. Some of the same concerns that I've pointed out previously continue to remain with the proposed plan. The first concern is that the community revitalization plan needs to have more specific benchmarks to reverse the blighted conditions over the entire urban core. So if we're using the West End neighborhood as our standard, how can we reduce all the blight scores in all of our urban core neighborhoods to what the West End neighborhood is experiencing currently? Secondly, I think there needs to be a stronger connection between the 2026-2029 Community Revitalization Plan and the DPS demographic study. This will allow the city to meet its needs while addressing areas of concern that were highlighted by Decatur Public Schools. And I'll just point out one thing. On page 52 of Decatur Public Schools demographic study, the greatest percent change in the number of households, which was declines in number of households by greater than 8%, will take place in the west end of Decatur. Yet the region in the plan is focused east of Route 48. And so while I am supportive of the plan, and it does provide some short-term outcomes that I think will strengthen our strong business community and will strengthen our neighborhoods, I also feel that the plan falls short of the needs of the city for revitalization. And so I'm supportive of the plan, but I think we could have done better.
Other comments or questions? Seeing none, call the question, please.
Councilman Culp.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Mayor Moore Wolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
That takes us to item 2, resolution authorizing execution of a property tax abatement agreement with Notice Development, LLC at 136 South Dipper Lane and waiving of building permit fees.
Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Ms. Hahn?
Thank you, Mayor and Council. Well, right in line with our now adopted revitalization plan, we have a development agreement before you for a new housing development or redevelopment we're very excited about. And with that, I will go ahead and turn it over to Lacey Elsie, Economic and Community Development Director.
Yes, so excited to present this to you guys tonight. This is a proposed 14-unit apartment of a currently vacant building. Our developers Notice are here, and they are proposing to invest over $1.2 million into the project, and in return, we would abate the city's portion of property taxes for 7 years after substantial completion, and we would waive what we approximate is about $15,000 in permit building fees.
And this is a facility that is currently not in use and has been sitting vacant for some time, is that correct?
That is correct.
Questions for Ms. Elsie? Dr. Horn?
Just a comment. I just want to congratulate the city staff and thank the developer for bringing this proposal forward. If we look at the Decatur Public Schools recent demographic study, it indicates that the west end of Decatur is projected to have the worst decline in the number of households in the city, with decline in household numbers of greater than 8%. And so by the city working with the developer to come up with an agreement that will increase the number of housing units, that is a strong recipe for success in trying to reverse those projected declines. So congratulations.
Any other comments? Seeing none, call the question, please.
Councilman Culp.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Mayor Moore Wolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
And now it's back to Ms. Hahn for the city manager update.
Thank you again, Mayor and Council. A few updates for you this evening. So we've got a couple new hires. We have Amanda Gebhardt, our new permit technician in the Economic and Community Development Department. And then we have Steve Hohulin, who is our new urban planning and zoning manager. So glad to have them. We have the appointment of Kyle Houston as our water distribution supervisor in Public Works Water Distribution, appointed on March 9th. And then we've got a couple promotions, Riley Reynolds to fire lieutenant and Justin Brownfield to fire lieutenant as well. We do have a retirement to announce. Rodney Phillips, water plant operator 3, and the Public Works water production. He worked for the city for 11 years, so we want to thank him for his service. Another one that I wanted to highlight here today is that we are hosting the National Transit Institute class. This is just something that staff have been working on over the course of the last couple years as a way to reduce our costs for training and actually hosting them here in the city. So Lacey's team was able to get this training here in Decatur. It allows city staff to attend at no cost, and then we're also bringing attendees here to the community to stay and eat and enjoy. So wanted to highlight, we are doing a current garbage and recycling survey. So as Lacey mentioned, as part of the revitalization plan and looking at our codes, this was one area that we wanted to look at, was our solid waste and our collection and how that's working, and are there any ways to be more effective, efficient, and also looking at cost. So wanting to reach out to the community before we looked to make any changes, thought it was best that we are aware of how the community feels about their current service and what they would like to see. So we do have this survey currently out and available. People can access it through this QR code or also by going to our website. So we ask residents to please participate. We want to get as many responses as possible. Wanted to highlight our 2025 annual report is also available on our website, and there's a short video from the mayor providing just some highlights and summaries of what's included in the annual report. I hope people will take time to go out and take a look at it. I wanted to thank council for their support throughout the year, that we are able to accomplish all that we are able to get done. I want to commend all of our amazing staff who are very committed in doing this work every day. I want to thank all the directors for obliging me to get all of this. I mean, I know they do regular reporting, but getting all of this together so that we could have this amazing report. And then I want to give a special shout out and thank you to our economic development specialist, Kyle Knott, who very graciously took on this project, did an amazing job in pulling this all together. It looks fantastic, and he even survived all my edits. So I appreciate him being willing to do that. And then lastly, I wanted to just again highlight, I know this was sent out via press release, but just wanted to make sure the community is aware of this Citizen Connect, and it's replacing the former DPD Connect site, so people can go out and actually explore police activity by date, time, location, by incident type, and explore the activity geographically. So great resource to have, and providing transparency to the public as well. Thank you.
Thank you, and congratulations on the annual report. It's something I think we've needed for a long time, because it's easy. We make strides, and then we move on to the next thing, and quite often don't take time to really look at as a whole the things that have been accomplished in this community. So well done. And we are now at the consent calendar. Does anyone on council wish to remove any of the items for individual? Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Cooper.
No problem. Just a quick question. On the garbage survey, unless I missed it or misread it, it appeared that it was asking questions germane to the waste management. Is it hitting all the garbage companies or just the one?
Yeah, it's open for all residents to participate. So we're asking everyone how they feel about their current service. Yep.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, from the consent calendar, does anyone wish anything removed? Mr. Horn?
G, K, and L.
Any others? Okay, we are ready when you are.
Item A, resolution authorizing an intergovernmental agreement between the City of Decatur and the Sanitary District of Decatur for the Brush College Road Lift Station Forced Main City Project 2020-06. Item B, resolution accepting the bid and authorizing the execution of a contract with Burdick Plumbing and Heating Company Incorporated for the Northeast Water Main Extension Boyd Road to north of Cundiff Road, City Project 2025-13. Item C, resolution authorizing a professional engineering services agreement with Clark Dietz Incorporated to provide construction engineering services for the Northeast Water Main Extension Project, Boyd Road to north of Cundiff Road, City Project 2025-13. Item D, ordinance annexing territory 775 West Grove Road. Item E, resolution accepting the State of Illinois joint purchasing holder bid price of Morrow Brothers Ford Incorporated for the purchase of 2 Ford Maverick trucks. Item F, resolution to approve an engineering services agreement with WHKS and Company and appropriate motor fuel tax funds for the Garfield Avenue Bridge over the Illinois Central Railroad, SN 058-6000, City Project 2026-24. Item H, resolution approving the purchase and installation of 2 emergency warning sirens. Item I, resolution authorizing the execution of an agreement with Hutchins Excavating for the demolition of 333 East Macon Street, 380 South Industry Court, and 440 South Franklin Street. Item J, resolution authorizing execution of a purchasing order between the City of Decatur, Illinois, and Bridgestone America's Tire Operations, LLC, and tire lease for transit buses. Item M, resolution waiving all city permit fees for development of Decatur Park District's Activity Center for Mature Adults. Item N, receiving and filing of minutes of boards and commissions. Item O, ordinance authorizing consumption of alcoholic liquor in Central Park, Decatur Area Arts Council. I need a motion to approve the items as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Cope,
Aye.
Councilman Cooper,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz,
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel,
Aye.
Councilman Horn,
Aye.
Mayor Morwolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Resolution accepting the bid and authorizing the execution of the contract with Dunn Company, a division of Tyrol Incorporated, for 2026 local motor fuel tax improvement projects, City Project 2026-25. Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Horn?
I was hoping Mr. Newell could address what the process is for deciding which of the local roads get repaired. The reason I ask that is whenever you create a list of roads that are going to be improved, you oftentimes get an additional list of roads that have concerns. So how's Public Works Department develop that particular list?
Popular question. Public Works, our engineering team goes out and works to evaluate half of the streets every year. So every 2 years, we evaluate the whole street system. And when they do that, then they will put that into our computer database. And we estimate the funds that we will have available in our 2 motor fuel tax funds, the state and the local. And then we work to put the pavements in various categories. You can reconstruct the pavement. You can just do a mill and overlay. You can just do major spot repairs, or you can microsurface it. You know, there are several options, but only certain levels of pavement can be done with each option. So we try to find the best fit for each pavement section. So reconstruction. To reconstruct a pavement costs 4 times the amount of an overlay. So we try as hard as we can to keep everything in the overlay category and not allow them to sink into a reconstruction category. Once you're in reconstruction, then it really doesn't matter how bad they get because they've got to be reconstructed anyway. But so that's kind of just a brief overview of how we go through. We try to match the conditions of the pavement to our available funding and try to spend the money as best we can. The motor fuel tax funds, unlike a lot of the other capital funds we use, we try to well, we keep a fund balance in there, but we try to keep that balance at like $1 million. So we try to drain that account every year. So all of that money goes into the transportation system as best we can.
And you can follow along on our website as to what roads are being paved in the summer if people want to take a
Yes,
look.
we have the list is on the website.
Councilman McDaniel?
Mr. Neal, have you heard, I know the state has cut like $500,000 of, well, more than that, well, that's the last for downstate, which includes Peoria on down. Have you heard from any idea how much we cut, or have you talked to any other communities in central Illinois?
I've not been advised as to the motor fuel tax reductions or any.
It's going to happen.
I think that's when the budget is passed. We'll have a better idea. Ms. Cruz?
So if you have two streets with the same level of degradation and you have to choose one, how do you choose it?
We will always try to choose the one that we feel will get by another year without being a problem. I guess so. We would normally call in our local maintenance team and see which street they feel that they can nurse along until we get it onto next year's project. I guess that's not a fair answer, but if I've got which child would you give up for adoption if you want to? But that's usually how we go about it. We meet with our maintenance forces and we decide what they can get through another year and what they can't, what's eating them up and what it isn't, and that is part of our process as well.
Dr. Horn, did you have another question?
Just a comment. I just wanted to say thank you to the Public Works team. A few months ago, the city of Decatur adopted a traffic safety study, and one of the areas of concern was the crosswalks at Millikan University. And in reading through this agreement, you're going to be improving the crosswalks and stop bars, not only at Millikan, but also downtown. And so I wanted to say thank you for prioritizing some of the intersections and roads that are on that approved traffic study.
Any other questions from council? Thank you, Mr. Newell. Call the question, please.
Councilman Culp.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Mayor Morwolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds for the business facade program. Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Dr. Horn?
So a few weeks ago, the Greater Decatur Regional Chamber of Commerce hosted the Mayor of Marion. And one of the things the Mayor of Marion talked about was using TIF increment for certain projects. And I'm certainly supportive of a business facade program, but I wonder, are any of the businesses that are potentially eligible for this in the TIF district, like the Central TIF district as an example, and therefore can we use TIF increment to fund these business facade grants?
There is the opportunity to explore TIF-funded grant programs. And in the newly adopted revitalization plan from earlier tonight, we do have a section where we do talk about how we are going to explore our TIF programs and maximize those. So I think that is something that we can definitely look into.
Yeah, that'd be great because, we're putting in $100,000 of general fund money, but in theory, the TIF increment is growing quite rapidly at this point in time, and therefore that might be an opportunity to expand our reach. The other question I had, and and I realize this could be a First Amendment barrier, but if we're providing funding for business facade improvements, are we allowed to restrict what types of advertising happens in that business facade? So, for example, let's just use a slot machine advertisement. Some businesses have very large signs and that might say play slots here or win big. If we are going to be providing grants up to $25,000, are we able to in any way restrict certain types of advertising?
I think the second part of your first sentence was probably pretty accurate in the First Amendment. Sitting here right now, we can regulate time, place, and manner. I'm not sure that's time, place, and manner restrictions. That's content. But certainly time, place, size, those can be regulated. And we do currently.
Yeah.
Currently in the zoning
Yes.
ordinance for size. Any other questions on this item? Seeing none?
Councilman Culp,
Aye.
Councilman Cooper,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz,
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel,
Aye.
Councilman Horn,
Aye.
Mayor Morwolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. Resolution authorizing the expenditure of funds for the Residential Exterior Improvements Program. Motion that the resolution do pass and be adopted.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Horn?
Several questions, most likely for Ms. Elzey here. The first question I have is very similar to what I asked previously. With this type of residential exterior improvement program, can this also use TIF increment to fund these projects?
My answer is the same as before. We can definitely explore that possibility.
And then a couple of other questions. So we're talking about $600,000 for a minimum of 10 homes. Have you thought about programs that, let's say, are $10,000 instead of programs that are $60,000 and therefore maximize the reach in terms of the number of houses that we can improve?
Yes, and we do have programs that are structured more similar to that, like the emergency program, and those generally address life safety, so water heaters, electrical emergencies, HVAC. When we start talking about the exterior programs to help bring up facades, the items unfortunately are a lot larger and cost a lot more money. And one of the number one needs that was identified in the community survey that was recently done was windows, doors, facade work, porches. So we would like to under-promise and over-deliver that hopefully not every project is $60,000, but if each one of those projects did require those, that is our best estimate.
One final question. In reading through the memo, it says that not all households within the identified focus areas will be contacted or selected. And so I was hoping that you could just give a brief overview of how the properties will be selected.
Homeowners are prioritized, and then the homeowners are still, although not as strict of income limits as the Department of Housing and Urban Development programs that we have, we still put some kind of guardrails around it to help target families that truly need the assistance. And so the qualifications that we list are the government's asset limited income constrained employed, ALICE, and if residents have questions about whether or not they would qualify, they can reach out to our neighborhood services grants team at 217-424-2797.
Pat?
Yes.
This does not include rental property, right?
Correct, homeowners only.
Any other questions? Mr. Cooper?
It may be related to this or not, but just, I know why you're up there, I just asked you. Because someone asked me, so I said I'll get an answer tonight. On home improvements, whether it's these projects here or some others, I got a question. Do they do bathrooms?
So through the residential rehabilitation program, the CDBG, bathrooms can be addressed.
Any other questions? Call the question.
Councilman Culp.
Aye.
Councilman Cooper.
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory.
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz.
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel.
Aye.
Councilman Horn.
Aye.
Mayor Moore-Wolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays.
And in other business, I would like to share that I was able to participate in the Illinois Mayor's diplomacy mission to the Vatican last week during Holy Week, and we were able to secure a private audience with His Holiness Pope Leo, and so it was an amazing experience. And if you did not know, which I did not, Pope Leo has been to Decatur a couple of times during his vocations training. So I invited him to come back at any time that he would like, and if that happens, I'll be sure to let you know. Does anyone else on council have anything? Mr. Culp.
Mr. Phillips, condolences to you and your family. I always enjoyed my conversations with your dad. This intersection brings back memories from a few years ago where we had issues with the trucks coming out of Premiant and being a narrow intersection, cutting that curb and the lanes there on the south side. We were talking about a study back then of widening that area or the stop lines. And I don't know where DPD's case is at. I'm sure it's still being reviewed. But if there's a time and distance study for the eastbound traffic, then maybe is a time with DOT. I don't know, Matt could answer this, but if we could have that intersection evaluated, and not only just for the time and distance of the hilltop, but possibly is it wide enough anyway? Just a thought.
If I recall, Premiant, we were in discussions with them about that, and their business model changed somewhat, or there was an adjustment made, but I don't recall the details. It's been a few years. So, Ms. Gregory?
Thank you, Mayor. All the conversation about streets and paving. What is the update on Route 51 north and south?
So Matt can correct me if I misspeak. Our understanding was that they were possibly going to be doing some milling and overlay this year, but we don't know for sure that that's going to occur. Then they are projected to do south in 27 and north in 28.
It's pretty rough to drive on. It's gotten pretty bad. Dr. Horn?
These questions will either go to Ms. Hahn or Ms. Morthland, but in regards to the 99-year easement with ADM to sequester CO2 under Lake Decatur, there's been reports that ADM is redacting diagrams of the CO2 plume. And so my questions are, does the easement allow ADM to sequester CO2 under Lake Decatur prior to receiving a permit from the US EPA to do so?
Well, the easement would be low on the list of issues. They have to follow any and all permitting agencies and their regulations, and that would certainly include US EPA.
Okay, so there would be multiple issues, one of which is they would, if, now that's a big if because I cannot confirm that, but if they were sequestering CO2 in places that they were not, that would certainly be it, would seem logical, an issue the EPA would want to address.
Yes.
Okay, and so my second question is, if ADM had sequestered CO2 under Lake Decatur prior to receiving a permit, is this trespass potential grounds for rescission of the agreement?
Yeah, I mean, that's a tough thing to answer in public because that has potential litigation ramifications on the city that I don't think we would discuss in an open session. But once again, their big issue is going to be with US EPA first and foremost, and whether there's compliance or not compliance.
And with that, I'll entertain, Ms. Cruz, yes.
Could we have a status on Jasper Street? Is that still on, what is the tentative start date for the Jasper Street reconstruction?
We have too many mics open.
Okay. So we don't have a tentative start because we are still going back and forth with the state and the Fed. They've asked for some modifications to our grant application, so we're still working through those. I would anticipate that getting approval for that could take the next 4 to 6 months before we would even get approval. So we would not even be looking towards any construction until next year.
And we don't start construction until we actually know we have the money, correct?
Yes.
Further questions?
I had another quick thing. Someone contacted me that they needed emergency housing, and they were looking at the city's emergency preparedness, what you referenced earlier, to see where to go in the city for situations like that. Just as a consideration, if you could put something on the website that could direct people. This person experienced a fire and didn't know what to do. So if there could be some guidance on the city's website, that could be helpful.
I think it's 211 through the United Way that handles that. It really isn't our jurisdiction, is it, Ms. Morthland?
Not for complete housing. I think what Zelzi was referring to is we have an emergency repair, so it just depends on the severity. Did it knock out a small, the electrical versus do they need to relocate?
Yeah, I understand that, but the average resident doesn't necessarily know that. And if there could just be something on the website that would say, use 211 or whatever it is. I sent them to Dove, but whatever the resources are in the community, if it could redirect residents to go there.
Councilman Cooper?
Yes, Ms. Hahn, can you give a status update on they changed it, I think it's the old Garfield School, but on Oakland and Grand, what's the status on that location?
So I think at this time, we're just still waiting for the closing, and then they'll have the property and start.
Didn't I see where they received the permits from the city? I think it was last Friday or Friday before I saw it. I caught my eye on that.
Okay, if there's nothing further, a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Councilman Culp,
Aye.
Councilman Cooper,
Aye.
Councilwoman Gregory,
Aye.
Councilwoman Cruz,
Aye.
Councilman McDaniel,
Aye.
Councilman Horn,
Aye.
Mayor Wolf.
Aye.
7 ayes, no nays. We are adjourned.